The time has come, everyone. The time has come to choose your side.
We did it. We're settling it now.
Dad jokes or no dad jokes? There's only one way to vote, and it's to head to wehaveconcerns.com/shop and buy the No Dad Jokes t-shirt.
Or the Team Dad Jokes t-shirt, which will show your allegiance
to No Dad Jokes, which is the shirt you're buying.
Team Dad Jokes.
Wehaveconcern.com/shop, and remember to click on No Dad Jokes because it's the only sane answer. Such a great movie. Bring back the ski romp comedy, everybody. Bring it back. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
Hey, Anthony, a lot of times we'll bring up on this show, we'll talk science.
Yeah.
We'll talk philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk anthropology.
We're not qualified to talk about any of those things.
None
but
of
we'll
those
do
things,
it.
and yet we will do it because the people demand it.
Mm-hmm.
And people send us stories to wehaveconcernshow@gmail.com.
And also because I like sounding smart.
Well,
I'm very vain.
you sound really smart.
Thank you.
Especially when you sound
This
vain.
is not my real voice. This is the voice that I put on for the show.
You really sound like this.
It takes a lot of effort.
But sometimes, sometimes we got to take a break from all that science and philosophy and anthropology, smart stuff.
We can't be serious men of the world all the time.
No, not all the time. Sometimes you got to have a little fun.
Like in a ski movie.
Yes. Our friend Jonathan Popel, who sent this in to us, this story, and you know what? It's too good to resist. It's in our wheelhouse just too well. It's about a Brock. Can I introduce you to a Brock?
Yeah, sure. Better Noah Brock.
Better Noah Brock. That's what we should call this episode. Better Noah Brock. Brock Leach. Young lad in the UK. Only 14.
Oh, his actual name is Brock.
Brock.
Okay.
Brock Leach. And his cousin Josh.
Uh-huh.
He's 14. His cousin Josh is 16. He's just living the Brock life. They're hanging out in a little suburb called Trebarwith Strand. Trebarwith Strand in the UK. It's a beautiful coastal town. You'd love to visit there because of its beautiful cliffs. Picturesque as the sun sets on the picturesque Trebarwith Strand cliffs. Oh, sometimes the boys like to play on the cliffs, living that Brock life. You know how Brocks do.
Yeah.
Well, there was one day recently where Brock Leach, hanging out, doing cartwheels on the cliff, fell off the cliff, 100-foot cliff, to be exact.
He died the way he lived, living the Brock life.
Well,
Godspeed, Brock Leach.
And that's the end of our story. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Just wanted to tell you about
No, so this kid cartwheeled right off a cliff?
He wasn't actually doing cartwheels. I embellished a little bit,
Okay.
but they were playing on a cliff, and he fell off a 100-foot cliff. He bounced off outcroppings and rocks during his descent.
Oh God!
To the ocean below, to the beach below. He survived. Whew. Lucky for Brock Leach, he survived his fall because his descent was slowed as he bounced off all of the rocks.
Oh God!
On the way down.
Oh God!
Yeah. Luckily, his head managed to not hit anything, so he survived.
Yeah.
He was beat up
because
pretty
that's
bad.
the part of him he uses the most.
Exactly. His brother Josh, atop the cliff, seeing this happen, freaking out, scared. But lucky for Brock, he landed on the beach alive. His brother, not knowing what to do, yelled down to him, trying to figure out what's going on. Unfortunately, at that moment, the tide was coming in. So
This is like a 1920s adventure serial.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Don't worry, I survived the cliffs. Oh no!
You'll never believe what happens next.
Quicksand.
Tune in next week. Well, it actually gets even crazier than that because as the tide was coming in, he realized he needed to scramble back up as best he could to get.
Could he
to
even
not
move
drown.
though? Like
he was very badly injured, but he managed to start scrambling back up to avoid high tide, which would drown him if he just laid there and waited for help. So he started climbing, scampering back up to get to high ground.
How the fuck do you fall 100 feet, bounce off of rocks, and you scamper and climb?
It certainly helps that you're 14.
I guess.
You're, your body is more supple and you can handle. I
don't like when you use the word supple. I don't like that. I don't like talking about teenagers and using the word supple. That's weird.
I'll grant you that.
Okay.
Okay. So he had a fractured pelvis, severe bruising, but he's not dead, and he's avoiding high tide, which would drown him. And as he's getting onto a higher rock, The only poisonous snake in all of Britain.
There's only one.
There's only one.
There's one poisonous snake, and everybody tracks it. They all put up on the town bulletin board. I saw the snake today.
Yeah, unfortunately,
it's by the library.
It's in Treborwith Strand, below the cliffs.
But you mean species of snake?
Yes.
Okay.
The adder. The adder is the only poisonous snake native to the UK. It bites our friend Brock on the arm. His arm starts to swell to 3 times its normal size.
What about his heart?
Oh, his heart. Later on,
it grew 2 sizes that day.
Years later, he would learn a special lesson.
Oh, okay.
But not today.
All right.
Today he just fell from Cartwheel Cliff and almost died, almost drowned, and now he's laying on a rock above water at high tide as his arm is swelling 3 times its normal size. His mother, who lives not far away, hears a rescue helicopter flying overhead, wonders what that's all about.
I bet she knew. Because anybody who hears a helicopter flying overhead and goes, "Oh, I gotta check this out," that's the mother of a Brock.
That's the mother of a Brock.
That is the mother of a Brock.
Not the first time. No.
Just like at the mall, and just like, where did Brock go? Oh God. Mom, there are terrorists in the mall.
Brock! Oh, Brock.
School picture day.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen Brock Leach? Oh, God.
How did this school afford a helicopter?
There's a volcano in the media center.
Brock Leach. 7. Volcano action. Yeah. So, luckily his brother Josh had run. First of all, he had rushed down to his brother's aid and tried to get him to higher ground. When he realized his brother had been bitten by a snake, he realized he couldn't move him. He couldn't get him anywhere. He didn't know what to do.
And that's when lightning struck.
Yeah, that's what you would think would have happened.
And what's crazy is the lightning didn't kill him, and it somehow burned out the poison. Like it boiled the poison, the venom from the snake, and he was fine, and his arm went down.
Yeah.
But he was then struck by lightning.
Right.
And so he couldn't move anymore. And so Josh was like, what do I do? What do I do? There's got to be something. And as Brock fell unconscious and started to roll off the cliff, he rolled onto a rubber tree.
Oh, that's lucky.
Which just bounced him up.
Back to where he had done cartwheels.
Sort of, but like it was right next to the metal refinery.
Oh no.
That they have there in Stratford upon Avon or wherever the fuck it is. And right next to the Globe Theater, I guess. And
that was the day that they had imported all those red barrels of oil into the metal refinery.
It was right by the oily mattress fire that they keep there. Which is the only tourist attraction.
And as he bounced soaring over the fire.
No, so this kid's arm is swelling and he's broken pelvis. And how do they get him out of there?
Well,
how did the helicopter even come?
It says Josh saw his brother disappear.
They don't have cell phones in England, right?
No. Everything in England is from the 19th century.
Yeah, they flip a coin at a kid and they go, go. Tell your mother.
No, luckily he saw another little boy there with a hat on who was going, "Hey, sir, would you like the paper?" And he's like, "Yes, no, write in the paper the news that my brother has fallen and spread that news far and wide." "Oh, right, sir, we will. Right, I'll take it in the paper."
Late edition. You there, boy? I'll take one.
"Yes, all right, away. That's 5 pence."
My goodness, little Brock Leach. He's stuck in the bottom of a cliff. Did you read about this?
I was looking for the financial section.
We have to do something.
I'm just flying a kite.
I'm going to write a stern letter to the government.
I think that's wise.
And 3 weeks later, somebody comes to save Brock in a helicopter. Because they have helicopters.
Strangely, they have helicopters.
When you're a socialist country, you put your money into the places where you need it most, that benefits the most people. And a few years ago, they had a parliament that was just like, helicopters are like the best.
Oh yeah, read all about it.
Think about how many things.
Helicopters are fantastic.
Think about how many things we could do with helicopters.
I was just going to look at the financial section.
Should we have phones first? No. The tuppence messaging system is perfect.
It works well.
You give a kid tuppence and he goes and he messages. That's fine.
All the boys we've saved.
What we need is a fleet of Black Hawk helicopters.
Yes.
and really good sketch comedy. We'll put all of our money
Yes.
into Black Hawk helicopters and sketch comedy.
We'll call it the Black Adder Foundation. The Black... And, you know, in memory of Brock Leach, who was... It works on several levels. I'll just go back to the financial section.
So what happens? His little brother called the...
Yeah, his little brother ran and got help. He said he saw his brother disappear and heard his scream as he went over the ledge. He didn't panic. Stiff upper lip. See? That's what helps. When you're in the UK, you have a stiff upper lip. You don't panic when the shit goes down.
Mm-mm.
His brother, however, did not mind the gap.
Whoa. You went out of your way.
Yeah.
You went out of your way. It didn't even fit in, really.
It didn't, but I enjoyed it.
That's your one. That is your
At
one.
least I didn't say keep calm and call the helicopter.
But you just did.
I know. I wouldn't say that,
That's
though.
2.
I wouldn't. Anyway, so yeah. So he runs, he calls, they save, and the mother hears the helicopter. Yeah, so that's what happened. So she hears the helicopter cresting over the rise. She doesn't think any of it. She's actually on the phone talking to her husband, Dean, who is online. She's on Skype with her husband, who's in Vietnam, where he's working as an ocean exploration scientist. So this is a deep Brock family. This is a family with Brock blood.
They're on a 3-way Skype call with Brock's father, who is an ocean explorer,
Yeah.
and Brock's uncle, who is looking for the jade monkey paw in the jungles of South America.
Yeah. So they claim that he slipped on some lichen. Is that how you pronounce that?
Lichen.
Lichen?
Yeah, it's like a moss.
I thought that was
Like
werewolves. Lycanthrope? No? Is that not the same thing? Maybe that's what they're saying, is that Brock was fighting werewolves on the top of this cliff when he slipped.
That's 3.
Dude, this is a very special episode. This is not an our usual.
This is like one of those very special episodes of Blossom.
You're going to learn at the end not to play inside refrigerators, and you're also going to learn not to fight werewolves on the top of 100-foot cliffs.
You're not supposed to play inside a refrigerator?
No, man.
Why?
It's real bad.
Well, the only thing I know about playing in refrigerators is they save you from nuclear blasts.
Well, that's true. We've all seen that.
Yeah.
We all know that's the case. But that's not that's not playing. That's serious time.
Can you get stuck in a refrigerator anymore? Is that still true?
How do you get stuck in the first place?
Well, like, that's the thing. Like, we were playing in a refrigerator, and then is the deal that they used to have a latch to open?
Who fucking has a refrigerator to play in?
We certainly weren't rich enough.
Yeah. I know.
We had to use ours
I always
for
asked
food.
for one for Christmas, and I never got one.
Everybody's got an extra refrigerator. You're not supposed to play in those.
I always wrote a letter to Santa. All I want, empty refrigerator.
All the Brocks at school have extra refrigerators.
Yeah, dude, let's play in the refrigerator.
I told you we used to play Box and Hill, right? I've told you about this before.
Box and Hill?
Box and Hill. Did I tell you about this game we used to play?
That was clearly named by your grandfather.
Box and Hill. You have Box, you have Hill. No, but this is something
What are your questions?
This is something we used to play when we were kids, where whenever somebody would get, somebody's parents would get something that came in a big box.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had furniture delivered or something like that, or
Yeah.
somebody was moving.
Right.
We would take the big
Extra
box.
refrigerator, for example.
Yeah. We would take the big box and a roll of duct tape up to the top of a hill.
Uh-huh.
And somebody would get in the box.
Okay.
And we would tape them into the box.
You tape them into the box.
Tape them into the box and flip the box down the hill. It was a ride.
How do you? Oh, you ride.
It's a ride. You ride the box. You're inside the box
Sounds
and
more
you ride
like
it.
you are restrained and forced to endure a steep descent inside a very rickety box.
Looking back on it now, it was very weird that I only played it with the mysterious hooded gentleman on the cul-de-sac, and not any of my other friends that I normally played with. But no, we would play Box and Hill.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised by kids.
Box and Hill and Ransom and Call.
Yeah, all the fun ones,
All the fun ones.
all the good ones. Scream and die.
Trunk and Ride.
Yeah. No, we would do that too in high school. We would one person, when we were riding to lunch, one person would have to get in the trunk and ride in the
How
trunk.
come all of your games involve duct tape?
There's no duct tape involved in the trunk one.
Oh, there's no. Okay, good.
No, the
That's
trunk
good.
has a latch. Much like I would imagine these old refrigerators. That's why I'm asking why you can't play in a refrigerator.
They do have the old refrigerators do have latches.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
They're more like a walk-in fridge at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Although walk-in fridges in restaurants have latches on both sides.
Have you ever worked in a restaurant that had a big walk-in freezer?
Yeah.
I was always terrified to go in there.
I was the first
terrified.
time I worked in a restaurant for the first couple weeks, even though they have a handle on both sides now. Like
I don't
have
trust
to.
that. I don't trust visual handle. Who knows? Who knows what shenanigans can be happening on the other side of the door? Could be a series of duct tapes.
We locked a busboy in once. We blocked a handle just for like 30 seconds.
Just for him to
just for 30 seconds.
Shit his pants.
And then we basically spent the rest of the day apologizing because we felt awful.
I can't. I would lose my shit. I would lose my mind in there.
Well, because a lot of sitcoms, dramas, 80s movies, early, like...
I mean, I'm not MacGyver.
You get
I can't get out.
in the fridge or the freezer, and it's cold, and you don't know what's going to happen, and nobody's coming until the next day, and you're in there with somebody you hate, but you eventually come to an understanding.
Yeah,
but
maybe you fall in love.
Maybe you fall in love, but you have to be trapped there. And so the whole idea was...
I don't want to be trapped there.
The whole idea was freezer equals trapped.
Yeah.
And that's kind of...
And it also equals death, slow death. And I don't like being cold. So I never wanted to go in. I always felt weird.
Did you ever play anything like Boxing Hill when you were a kid?
I mean, we would go ice blocking, where you sit on a block of ice and ride down a hill.
Oh, okay.
On a grassy hill.
Yeah.
Did that. We also had this place near my house called Hill 13. Which was
where all the experimentation happened.
Mm-hmm, yeah, that's where all the lycanthropes hung out.
Fuck you.
We would never fight them on the top of a cliff. I mean, that's just dangerous.
No, make you play Cliff and Ocean.
No, honestly, Hill 13 was this housing tract that sort of stalled.
Oh, okay.
They hadn't built houses on it, but it was on a hill. And so if you can imagine, the plots for each of the houses were set. So it was a series of ridges that were flat for where the house was going to be, and then another steep incline, and then another flat plateau, and then another steep incline and a flat plateau.
Oh, that's surreal. I love that.
So we would bike there. We would get on our BMX, and it was the coolest thing ever.
With the pegs and the shocks.
Oh, yeah. We would go to the top of the hill. You'd walk your bike up the hill because it was super steep on the backside, and then you'd go down that plateau and steep part.
Oh, yeah,
section.
yeah.
So and it was amazing. It was so fun. And one time, the other side, because it was abandoned, right on the edge of where all that cool dirt was to ride your BMX. The other side was like thorny bushes. And one time I went careening off the wrong side and fell and tumbled through all the thorny bushes and scraped myself up and was a bloody mess.
Oh my gosh.
And then had to walk my bike home. Because out in the middle of nowhere.
I just picture you covered in hundreds of cuts and like your mother with the tiniest cotton ball and alcohol for 3.5 hours. Just like, ow.
Oh, Mom, why?
Ow.
Yeah, the worst part though was the walk home because we didn't have cell phones in those days. God, I sound like an old guy when I say in those days. I can't even believe that came out of my mouth.
5 B's for a quarter, we'd say.
All we had were latched refrigerators.
Yeah.
No, my friend and I walked our bikes home, and then all these cars as they drove by would like slow down and look at the bloody kid and just speed back up and
just
drive by.
Speed back up.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Speed back up.
Honey, what the hell is that? Don't worry about it, Janice. Just keep on driving.
That 12-year-old is obviously inhabited by the spirit of some sort of serial killer.
Yeah.
And we cannot stop for him because there is no other reason than a dark ritual for a child to be covered in blood riding a BMX bike.
I bet they were hanging out at Hill 13.
Oh, yeah, Hill 13.
Yeah.
I think kids are just stupid and dangerous. You know, it's funny.
That's for sure. Especially if you're named Brock.
Yes. Well, I think that's the thing, right? Like, I was a very stupid, dangerous kid. I used to play, like, when you're talking about, like, construction sites or whatever, you know how when they're building a roof and they have, like, the rafter structures, and they're kind of these triangular structures that have support beams?
Is this another story of you jumping off a roof?
No, they flipped all of those on their side, and they had them stacked because they were just delivered to build a house next to my buddy's house.
Okay.
And so what it was, you can imagine it's like this giant triangular tower with like these weird different beams going in at different angles, and we just crawled into it. We just crawled into it. I got stuck for like 15 minutes.
Oh my god, how many fucking spiders were in there?
I don't know how many spiders, but I know that like I was like all twisted up and like trying to get through like a tiny hole to get back up.
Oh.
And my friend had to like lead me through with like flashlights and stuff.
Did you not have any claustrophobia? I would never do anything like that.
Not previous to that. There's a first time for everything, Jeff. That's what childhood's about. It's about discovery.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, here's the thing. That Brock, that kid Brock, is the brockiest fucking kid. That's the brockiest story. He is living that life. Will he continue living that life?
That's the question,
I don't think
right?
so.
You think this debrocked him?
I think that debrocked him.
Or the fact that he survived, maybe he feels omnipotent now.
It's hard to say. I don't know what makes a Brock. Because here's the thing. I did a lot of this dangerous stuff. I never got seriously hurt. I never got seriously hurt.
neither.
But
Knock on wood.
I don't do that stuff anymore. Maybe getting seriously hurt and coming out of it is what makes you go,
feel invincible.
fuck it. I'm gonna do some dumb shit. Because you know what? Bones heal, you survive.
Yeah.
But like maybe you don't. But like maybe you don't though.
Yeah, sometimes you don't.
And I've never been seriously hurt, so I don't really know. And so that's why I don't want to do it. That's why I don't want to do these things. You do more Brocky stuff in your adult life than I think you did in childhood.
That's probably true. Although I was always the kid who was climbing the tree and doing the thing and hopping the fence.
Yeah. I mean, climbing trees, hopping, that's kid shit. But
Yeah.
you never did any like weirdly dangerous stuff.
I guess not.
You never duct taped somebody into a box,
No, I did not.
right? Like,
No,
yeah,
never
you didn't
once.
put people into hostage situations
What's the
for
statute of
fun.
limitations on that?
As long as they don't find that kid's body, forever. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder if it's getting it out of your system early and sort of learning limits and learning to be scared
Yeah.
is something that happens. And then
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or maybe you fall down 100 feet and you survive and you're like, I am a golden god.
Who knows? I would love to know, out of all the concerned citizens listening, were you a crazy kid and did you grow up to be an adventurous adult? Are you a Brock now?
Yeah.
Or were you like a Brock as a child? Like, I want to know.
Me too. I'm so curious. What's our Brock demographic?
I would love to, because basically this whole episode is about market research. We just want to know what the Brock demographic is.
Right. So should we market directly to the Brocks? Like, extreme, we have concerns.
Yeah, we'll just, it's an audio show, so we can just say we're doing it while we're base jumping or something, right? It makes no difference. Let us know on Twitter if you were an adventurous kid and if you are an adventurous adult. And you can just hashtag that fucking Brock life.
Yeah.
We're on Twitter. I'm at A Carboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
I realize now that that's not clear whether I meant hashtagging it fucking Brock life.
I think
or
you're going to get a
hashtagging
lot
it
of
Brock.
people doing fucking Brock life. You just meant fucking Brock life.
Yeah, but either one is good.
Yeah, we'll take one.
Either one's good.